Hello, hello. It's freaking white. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. So today is September 12th and we are watching Hitler. I decided that I should be able to speak about world history, and her eyeballs, by the way, are about to fall off her sockets, and we're just waiting for that. I wanted to share with you a few things, a few practical things before you decide on moving out. Now, my first video about solo and independent living was up, and I had good feedbacks. Well, hello. Okay, we are back, and I fixed my face a little bit, and I added like a contour bronzing powder and a lipstick, so I look a little bit presentable. And I prepared something also just in case magutom ako. I have here my butter chocolate. I don't know. This is from Dunkin' Donuts, and of course we have our black tea with milk. Anyway, this video is going to be like a follow-up video on the recent adulting talk that I did, wherein I shared with you, I think 4 or 5, sorry about my underarms if you can see them. It's going through a process, and they say trust the process. So eventually, hopefully after 9 sessions, we're gonna be seeing less hair, and it's going to be even with my skin, because right now it's really not that even. Yeah, but that's another story. Anyway, this video is about the 2 practical things that you need to consider before moving out or living independently. I believe I did a podcast version of this. It's up in my podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcast. If you know, wherever you get your podcast, I think it's there. And how I wished I'd done this, you know, a little earlier, but there's the consistency in the uploads that I do. Yeah. Anyway, so if you'll notice me looking over here, because here's my laptop and here's the script that I did for my podcast. I'm not gonna read like word per word, and I'll explain it to you like in a summarized way, but I also think I really did good in writing the script. So yeah. Anyway, okay, you know, at some point in time we really will be needing to leave our nest, whether it's right now when you're 20-ish, you don't have family yet, a husband or anything, and wait, okay, I'm just checking my phone, sorry. Kung wala ka pang any serious like commitments or relationship, like you know what I'm saying, you're single, you have a job, and it's like the perfect time to move out, or eventually also moving out because you're getting married or settling down with someone. That can be the 2 things, or 2 seasons in life where a person may or may not move out actually. In my own experience, I got to move out when I was almost 23 years old, and that's because I needed to. Actually, I did not need to move, although I had to make it sound like I had to move because the company that I work for was forcing me to move my base, but that wasn't really the case. You know, I had to make a little lie a little just to convince my auntie to move here. If she's watching this, oh my god, I'm so sorry if I had to lie, but I really felt I had to, and I'm not regretting anything. I'm so happy where I'm at now, and yeah, but anyway, so I had to do that. But you know, if I'm thinking right now, I could have done better. you know, because when I moved here, there wasn't really any considerations made. It was just, I was so hooked to this idea of just wanting to move, and well, this whole independence, the idea of independence, that was just everything that all that I had in my head. Wala akong pakialam kung I wasn't thinking about expenses or how I would survive in a city where I barely know anyone except for my boss. So, but I did it anyway. And yeah, I was young and a lot more stupid than I am now. But you know, it's always a valid excuse. You know, when you're young, you tend to be so aggressive and you just want to get things done. However, you know, if you're listening to this and you're 20-something years old and you're planning on moving out, it's better to plan, and it doesn't always work. You know, when they say you sail without a map. I mean, if you can have a map, then why not have it, right? Okay, so two things lang, because I believe these are the very practical things that one should consider. The first thing is your budget. Now, I will narrow it down to you into two types of budgeting. It's like actually para siyang business in a business setting. Well, I treat my life right now as para siyang, yeah, a business. So I do have spreadsheets for my budget, my personal budget. So I categorize this into two. I have my capital expense budget, and I also have my operating expense budget. Sorry, for my for the capital expense budget, this is the intended for the basics in order to start this process. Like, for example, if you want to move out, most likely you'll be renting, so the renters will ask you to have a deposit fee for your rent. It's usually 2 months advance, 1 month deposit, so that's 30 times your monthly rent. So you should have that money, and that forms part of your capital expense. And also you need to budget for your furniture, appliances, kitchenwares, utensils, pillows, linens, and the like. So these are basically your assets and your resources. Well, to put it out there, you don't have to buy everything before you move in, especially the appliances. Ang pinaka-importante lang naman, I think, is the bed itself. And then paunti-unti, for me, I had then a microwave and then a fridge. Microwave and the fridge, oh my god, they're very, very important, because you can save a lot of money on food if you have these two appliances. Because the first place that I rented, it was a studio unit. It only had a bed frame. Actually, after the bed and the linen, so I got a fridge and a microwave. And it's really good to also invest in quality pieces, so that it will really serve you, you know. And please bear in mind that you don't have to like buy all these things at the same time. You can save up for them, and then, you know, get the may not have to be really the best one, pero yung maganda naman talaga yung quality at hindi sayang yung pera. Now, some flats and apartments come fully furnished, but most of the time that could be a little too expensive also. And in determining your flat or your apartment, or kung saan ka mag-rent, it's also best to consider accessibility to like water. Security is topmost, and then there's water, electricity, transport, and those services should be available in the area 24/7. Of course, I think it's a given. Phone service kailangan din naman talaga. Yeah, so yun yung para sa capital expense. It's like initially, before you move in, you've got to have that money. And this is like, for me, siguro a 6-month worth of living expense money should be available to you right before you decide to move out. Kasi, yeah, kailangan talaga yun. Second category is my operating expense, or the operating expense budget. This budget is intended for your expenses in order to operate or live, of which mostly these are, you know, the non-negotiables. This is for your monthly rent, payment for your utilities, electricity, water, internet, if you have internet, or phone bill, or your insurance. And then there's groceries and the transportation cost on top of the discretionary expenses, like the occasional eating out, shopping for clothes, shoes, makeups, travel, gift sets, you know, and others. So those are the discretionary part. But the first ones yung na-mention ko, those really are non-negotiables. Kailangan mo talaga yun. And once you've listed and assigned a reasonable amount of each item, sum it up and you should be able to determine your proposed monthly operating expense. It's best to, again, have at least 6 months worth of operating expense in your bank account before you decide on, you know, moving out. So that's for the budget. We have the capital expense and then your operating expense. Your capital expense is para yun sa mga assets mo, or your resources, like your capitals are, they're not they will not have a return on investment, so they are assets that are depreciating. Gaya ng bed, your pillows, your linens, and your appliances, but you need them, you know, to live comfortably. And then also your operating expense, yung daily needs mo na kailangan mong paggastusan, like your rent, your groceries, your utilities, all that. So budget, capital, operating expense. The next one, I think also the really strongest one, is your purpose. What is your purpose of moving out? Because having a known purpose of why you're wanting to move out will sustain and fuel you and will keep you going. Like everything else in life, this is not easy. You will experience everything that you've never experienced before when you were under your parents' house. Like your financial, emotional, mental, even social and spiritual struggles will come into play and will tend to bring you down. But when you have this purpose and when your reason is known to you and why, and when you have a full understanding of the importance of your why, this allows you to focus your energy on it because it adds value and meaning to your existence. And that when things go wrong, and when it doesn't feel right, there's something that you can go back to and it'll help you refocus and readjust to move forward and continue with this journey. Wait lang po. I'll just have a bite kasi parang kanina pa ako ng chika ng chika. That is good. Now to practicality. Now that we've gone over your potential capital and operating expense plus your purpose, aka your why, the $1,000,000 question now is, can you practically do it? My purpose is not to get you into a rush to move out. It's simply to open your mind to the idea of solo living and how it can potentially positively impact your overall personal development. You can never be ready if you don't set yourself up for it. So part of the process is making enough money to support yourself, and sit down and have a talk with you to answer these questions and to get started. Should you decide to take it up a notch, know that there's no turning back. I mean, well, you can't actually turn back when you start to move out and things are not working for you. Of course, you can always go back to your parents. They'll have this wide open arms ready to take you in and all that. But it's kind of, I wouldn't say embarrassing, but I mean, we're planning. We're trying to plan here, and we're not planning to fail. However, that is still possible, but you know, we're not leaning towards that. We're leaning towards success. So let's look that way. I've mentioned this in a previous video that living alone and independent living should not be romanticized, because along with all the freedom, there's also this myriad of responsibilities, from cooking for yourself and picking up your clothes that you left lying on the floor from the previous night. No one's going to clean your space for you, and no one is going to wash the dishes for you. So you're gonna have to do everything, and that no one is you and you alone. It's empowering in a sense, because it enables you to train and domesticate yourself. And what for? The reason is to simply survive. My most dreaded chore is actually washing the dishes, and to this day I still hate washing the dishes, but girl, I have no choice. I ran out of utensils all the time, and I end up using chopsticks even in the most non-chopstick food, because I'm just lazy like that. But I still do it anyway, because I have to. You will have to work out behaviors and habits that are acceptable to you to handle all of these responsibilities. And once you step out that door, you need to understand that you are walking into another with a commitment to yourself, a commitment to look after yourself and do everything in your power to get things in order for yourself. Take it as a practice for bigger commitments you will soon make with other people. You know, when you're successful at this, there's a higher chance of you being successful in any other endeavor that you wish to undertake. Moving out does not mean that you're abandoning your family. It's not like you're cutting ties with them and that you've decided to completely not see them. That's another issue. On another subject, we will talk about that. It's about having a new proximity, testing the waters, living and fulfilling life. It is essential that you keep in touch with your family regularly and communicate for their good and your sanity as well. It can really get tough, and you will need your strong support system. No man is an island, and we can only really get through it if we go through it together. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways acknowledge him, and he will make straight your paths. Proverbs chapter 3 verses 5 to 6. It's hard for us to see God's vision for our lives, but if we trust in him and have faith, he will guide us down the road that he's built especially for us. You know, cheers to all 20-something-year-olds glamorously thriving to pay their bills while procrastinating about tomorrow's uncertainties. While you're in your 20s, everything just feels so crazy. Trust me, it does. I just turned 27 and things are getting less crazier lately, but trust me, early 20s, mid 20s, it was a hell of a ride. It was really crazy. And there's a lack of a better word, if there's a lack of a better word to describe that phase in my life, it's just really crazy. But it's okay, because you know, if you're not feeling crazy, you're probably missing out on the best phase in your life, because even though it is a crazy phase, I am enjoying every second of it. All the dramas and all that, it's crazy, but it's made me the person that I am today, so I'm really happy about that. And yeah, know that you are never alone, that you're always loved, and that you're always enough, always. I hope that you picked up a thing or two from this talk. I wish to be making more videos about adulting and sharing them with you. This has been Cassandra, asking you to please stay sane, kind, and confident.